After over 200 episodes throughout 8 seasons of the teen comedy That 70s Show, Danny Masterson became the star we've all come to love. And it didn't stop there, because he went on to work on a few TV one-offs and other independent film roles right until his interest in music sparked up. Eventually, his life caught up with him, and everything went downhill. Curious? Let's check out the timeline of his fall from grace. First off, here's a sneak peek of Danny Masterson's fall from grace. Starting off with the basics, he literally grew up in show business. You'd see him all the time as a model and child actor, and right after That 70s Show, he got all the fame he could ever ask for. Remember his gruff, sarcastic, and sideburns character Stephen Hyde? Because we do. And let's not forget how his interest in music eventually even led to a side gig on the LA club and concert scene as DJ Mom Jeans. But if we're talking about the actual deal, it was right after his stardom when he was with Ashton Kutcher in 2016. That news spread like wildfire when the duo decided to play brothers on the Netflix comedy The Ranch. But here's the thing, Masterson played Jameson Rooster Bennett for at least 3 seasons, right until the show suddenly killed his character. Fans were left wondering whatever happened to him, and his life simply caught up with him. And let's make it clear that he denies any accusations and wild rumors. Even then, you can't help but think, what went wrong? Well, we're here to find out. Following up, the LAPD announced an investigation into the star. We'll be straightforward with you. There have been charges against him. And it's not just 2, but 3 women who've come forward and revealed incidents from the early 2000s. At least, that's what it says in a statement from the Los Angeles Police Department Robbery Homicide Division. On top of that, the March 2017 article by The Hollywood Reporter even hinted that the investigation was prompted by actor Leah Remini, along with some information that came to light through her A&E documentary series Scientology and the Aftermath. It turns out Remini was actually in contact with a Scientology blog run by journalist Tony Ortega, who already had photocopied police reports of the accusations against Masterson. And if that wasn't all, the blog even mentioned a bunch of quotes from witnesses, descriptions of events, and even suggested that the Church of Scientology had enough reasons to cover up these claims. And right after the LAPD investigation, Masterson's representative came forward and said that they already knew about the 16-year-old allegations. But then again, it was only after the victim was in talks with Leah Remini that she made these allegations. On top of that, it seems to fit in the timeline of their 6-year relationship. Not only that, the representative also said it was during this timeline that she made a bunch of inconsistent claims about by at least 3 famous actors and musicians. Not to mention, people are curious to know if Scientology stalled the investigation. Well, the answer is more complicated than you think. You see, by around November 2017, the investigation of these allegations was stalled, even if it was temporary, and rumor has it, it was probably because of a pressure campaign by the Church of Scientology. Rewind a few months back, and in April 2017, the police even referred the case to the district attorney. Ever since then, the district attorney's office even examined the evidence they got from LAPD and started their own investigation. And let's just say that they've got compelling or even just overwhelming evidence, yet the charges weren't approved for filing. Expanding on the evidence, they had emails from Scientology officials from the very same timeline of the alleged incidents. Not only that, they've also got a pretty threatening handwritten letter that Masterson sent to one of the alleged victims. And while we're at it, one of the alleged victims even filed a police report in 2004 about the a year prior, yet the Church of Scientology simply stalled any investigations. In fact, they even sent in 50 affidavits from Scientologists who literally denied the story. What's more, everyone started to part ways after the allegations. When the allegations made the headlines back in 2017, Netflix and the producers simply let him go from The Ranch and went on to resume production in 2018 without him. In response, Masterson said the allegations didn't have any merit and that he wasn't charged with any crime, let alone convicted of one. And if we're being honest, this was just the beginning, because from here, everything started going downhill for the actor. By January 2018, it made headlines that Danny Masterson was dropped by his long-term management agency, UTA. That's right, no one wanted to represent him after all that, and the agency didn't even give any reasons for its actions. They just confirmed they weren't gonna rep the actor anymore, and that's it. Later on, around January 2019, we saw a sort of reunion of That 70s Show castmates and longtime friends Ashton Kutcher and Masterson, along with Mila Kunis, in Napa Valley. Now we have to ask, didn't they know anything about the investigation going on over the 4 serious accusations against their friend, or did they simply choose to ignore everything? Either way, they were spotted partying, even though Kuchar was a pretty outspoken advocate for women. But it turns out that when it comes to his friends, he seems to go on the path of silence. Moving on, Masterson was hit with a second lawsuit. The story doesn't end here. After over a year after he was fired from the Netflix show, lost his representation, and had an ongoing investigation on him, in August 2019, he had another civil lawsuit coming after him. It turns out that all 4 women who filed allegations against the actor also filed a civil lawsuit later on, saying the actor and the Church of Scientology were stalking and harassing them for their reports. Call it an attempt at intimidation or whatever, but it was another one to add to the list. And as always, Masterson completely denied the new lawsuit as well, saying his ex-girlfriend was provoking him to fight with her in the media, but he wasn't going to fall for it. Instead, he wanted to settle this in court and seemed to look forward to it too, because he felt it was going to be the time when the public would finally learn the truth. As for the Church of Scientology, they just said the claims were so outrageous, and that's exactly why the lawsuit wasn't going to go anywhere. Adding to that, his accusers are going to go public via Leah Remini, who, by the way, is also a former member of the Church of Scientology, or let's just say the actor is one of its most outspoken critics. And if we're being honest, she's been pretty vocal about the allegations against Masterson. As for his accusers, they didn't have the same voice until Remini interviewed 2 of them on her show for its 2019 finale. Up next, did Danny Masterson murder his accuser's dog? Every step of the way, it just keeps getting worse. Another claim was that the Church of Scientology and Masterson murdered 2 of the accuser's dogs, and that came out in an Instagram caption by Chrissy Carnell Bixler, who was a plaintiff in both of the outstanding lawsuits against the actor. Having said that, it didn't take long for the claims to make it to the headlines, saying that he was accused of killing dogs with rat poison packed into raw meat. On the other hand, the Church of Scientology simply denied the accusations, saying they were absolutely insane. In fact, they went on to say that the Bixlers have created the most outrageous lies, and now they're moving to Instagram for their hallucinatory publicity stunt. As for Masterson, he decided to stay quiet on this one. In fact, after all the allegations and denying, did he really have anything left to say at this point? We don't think so. Finally, will the Church of Scientology and Danny Masterson escape the U.S. justice system? Remember that civil lawsuit we mentioned earlier about the harassment after the LAPD investigation? Well, it turns out that the church was now arguing before a Los Angeles Superior Court judge that the accusers had suddenly agreed to ecclesiastical justice procedures when they first committed to practicing Scientology. And let's just say that agreeing to join the Church of Scientology means that they officially gave up on literally every legal right to sue the church, so they'd need to request arbitration from the church itself. Moving on, 2020 was quite the year for the case, because in June, the Los Angeles Times reported that Masterson turned himself into police and was then released after posting $3.3 million bail. Let's just say that if he's convicted on all the charges, he's going to face about 45 years to life in state prison. That's a wrap for this video. What's your take on Danny Masterson's fall from grace? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.